Alright, episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett just came out the other day. A lot of people are saying it's the best episode of the show. A lot of people really like it. So, here I am today to talk about it, give you guys my thoughts on it. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it, there's your warning. Also, if you want to know what I think about the first 3 episodes, you can go to my channel and look at those videos because I have made videos on those. Anyways, let's talk about it. So, I do agree that I think this is probably the best episode of the show so far, but that's not saying much. That's like being the shiniest turd. Like, this episode, the main reason it's the best is it doesn't do anything too egregious. Like, the other episodes all have so many moments where it's like, that is horrible, why are you doing that, this is painful, to where this one, like, it's not, in my opinion, it has some good moments, but overall it's not very good, but it doesn't do anything so horrific like the other episodes. So let's talk about it. I wrote down some notes. I'm not necessarily going to go chronological through the episode. I'm going to be all over the place. But one of my biggest complaints with this episode is when Boba Fett's talking to Finnick, he tells her all about his times with the Tuscans, and he's like, they took me in and made me one of their own. No, bro, they did not. They took you in as a slave and beat you and had you do slave labor. Not until you prove that you were worth something by killing the Mortal Kombat guy and saving their child did they take you in as one of their own. It wasn't like, oh, they saw this poor man in the desert that needed their help and they took him in and nursed him back to health and made him one of their own. No, he was literally their slave. Why does Boba have Stockholm Syndrome? I don't understand that. Boba's like completely lying about the situation. He's like, oh yeah, they took me in, had made me one of their own. They really took care of me and didn't treat me any differently. It's like, bro, they made you a slave. They beat you. They left you out in the Tatooine suns while they sat in their tents. What are you talking about? They literally prevented you from escaping when you tried to leave. You had no free will. What do you mean? Like, when he said that, I was like, oh, that is stupid. That's some revisionist history from Boba there. But anyway, so this episode starts off with Boba wanting to go after Slave One. We see the part in Mando where he finds Finnick. He saves her. That part is whatever. We knew we were going to see it. I'm still upset that Finnick's in this show. Finnick is just a meh character to me. Like, the actress is great and everything she's in, but as far as the character, I don't care about the character. And when the Book of Boba Fett was announced and she was going to be a sidekick, I'm like, Boba doesn't need a sidekick, and why is it Finnick? Because I don't care about Finnick. She's unneeded, and yeah, I just don't care about her. The only reason you would need a character like that is because Boba doesn't say much, and so you need someone else to sort of get the exposition out there and like have the heavy dialogue portions. But they don't do that. Boba says everything. Boba has lines upon lines of dialogue. Boba is a chatty Cathy in the show, way more than he was in the original trilogy. So I don't understand why we have Finnick. I don't think she was needed, in my opinion. But anyways, we see him save Finnick. She owes him a life debt. So she's like, okay, I'll help you get Slave One. I'll help you break into Jabba's palace and get Slave One. Or I can't remember what was it renamed, like Slave Master or something. Disney renamed it because Slave One wasn't politically correct. Oh wow, a bad guy's ship in a fictional universe wasn't politically correct. Oh no, whatever will we do? But the funny thing is, Slave One was trending on Twitter. Everyone still calls it Slave One. But anyways, Fennec's like, okay, I'll help you and then I'm done. And Boba's like, cool, whatever. So they go to Jabba's palace. They break in. We have a really stupid bit where this rabbit droid is able to evade Boba. Boba's trying to stop this droid before he triggers an alarm. And Boba's so incompetent he can't get it, and Fennec has to stop it. Fennec literally gets in the way of the droid, so Boba's able to grab it. We literally have this whole scene where Boba's an idiot. It's a slapstick scene. Boba cannot catch this droid, is knocking over pots and pans and making all this noise in the kitchen in Jabba's palace, and is so incompetent he can't get a little harmless droid. But Fennec can. Fennec stops it. Because again, Boba's so incompetent in the show, he can't do anything. And I hate that. It's a common theme in the show. Happens every episode. There's always like, oh, Boba can't do it, but the Tuscan Raiders can. Boba can't do it, but Fennec can. Boba can't do it, but blah, blah, blah. It's always someone else doing the thing. It's never Boba doing it. So that was annoying. Anyways, they're able to break through Jabba's palace. They set off the alarm while getting Slave One, so all of Boba's thugs go after them. And we get another scene where, oh, you think maybe Boba will have a cool fight and take on Jabba's thugs? No, he sits in Slave One the whole time while Fennec kills everyone. So again, moment where Boba could be a cool badass, but instead he sits in the ship the whole time while Fennec kills everyone. And also, one thing I want to say, I have no problem with him taking out Gamorrean guards, but taking out Gamorrean guards with your fists is really stupid when you're a human female. I think that's really stupid. I'm sorry. I don't think any human should be able to take on a Gamorrean guard with their fists. I think that's really stupid. She's literally KOing these guys in 2 punches. What? That's what Gamorrean guards are all about. They're big and physical. her being able to take him on is stupid. Like, if she had, like, some weapon or something, like Boba had his staff, it's like, okay, I guess I get that. But her fist just knocking them out in, like, 2 punches, that looks stupid. Like, I don't mind the other, like, her freaking, like, judoing the other thugs, that's fine. But the Gamorrean guards, I think that looks really stupid. The whole thing is that they're these big physical monsters, and you can't take them on with your bare hands. But Fennec can. I thought that was stupid. Like, at least have her use her knife or something. No, she just is able to knock them out. I thought that was stupid. After Boba gets Slave One, he goes and gets his revenge for the Tuscan Raiders. Because remember, in the last episode, the biker gang went and killed all the Tuscan Raiders. So he now goes in Slave One and massacres them. At least we finally got to see Boba do something. I mean, it obviously would have been cooler if we would have seen him get a bit more personal with it, considering they went to the camp and, like, burned them all down and murdered them. But it's still cool to see him at least do something. Like, he finally does something, even if it's the most minimal thing, which is just pressing a button on a ship to shoot it. So at least we got to see that. You know, finally it's like, oh man, at least it's not Fennec killing all of them. Boba did something. I like that little scene. I really do wish I do think it would have been cooler if he would have, like, broken into one of their camps and, like, beat their ass. Like, we would get to see him use the flamethrower, take them all out. That would have been cooler, but hey, at least we got something. So I don't want to complain about everything like I have been. Then we see Boba go to the Sarlacc Pit because he's like, man, I need to get my armor because Beskar won't. My Beskar's still in there because Fennec tells him, no, your armor's gonna, you know, it's all the acid from the Sarlacc, it's gonna be gone. And he's like, no, Beskar won't melt. And so they go to get it. But the thing is, I guess Boba has amnesia or something because Boba crawled out of the Sarlacc Pit with his armor on, and then the Jawa stripped it from him. I guess he just completely forgot about that. I don't know why, because it seems like he remembers everything else, but he just forgot that little detail. Whatever. It's kind of, I don't understand it. I felt like they didn't need to have him go to the Sarlacc Pit. I felt like that whole scene was unneeded. I'm not mad about how it unfolded, but I feel like that scene was a waste. Like, we don't need him to see him go to the Sarlacc Pit and have Fennec kill the Sarlacc, which is what happens, by the way. They're in the Sarlacc, he's searching around for it, can't find it, the Sarlacc grabs Slave One, Fennec releases a seismic charge, which, if you guys know, if you know me, you know that every time a seismic charge goes off, I get horny. That's just how it is. Those things are amazing, one of the best things in Star Wars. I love the seismic charges. Anyways, they kill the Sarlacc. Well, Fennec does because Boba's, like, sitting there like an idiot not knowing what to do. And then afterwards he says a joke. He's like, don't touch my buttons. And it's like, good comedy from Boba. I love Boba being the funny guy. But there's also another moment where he has a nice joke. So it's cool that Boba's the funny guy. But anyways, they kill Sarlacc. We do get one of my favorite parts of this episode. One of the best parts is actually when Fennec and Boba are at a campfire, and Boba explains why he wants to take over Jabba's empire and create his own, like, family, like, as in crime family. And he talks about how for too long these idiots have been ruling over and getting bounty hunters killed. He's like, I'm done working for these dumbasses. I really like that. I thought that was good. I thought that was a good character moment for Boba. I thought that was probably the best part of the episode. I thought that was really well done. We finally get to see Boba, like, actually saying something that makes sense. It's like, okay, I understand that. I don't understand why to do that he has to be the best guy ever with a heart of gold. Some people be like, but he mercilessly murdered those biker gangs. Yeah, but with the biker gang, we literally got revealed with everything they ever did was pure evil. It's not like where other people, there are some gray there. With them, it's like, oh, we saw them at the bar just beating the crap out of everyone for no reason. We saw them kill the Tuscan Raiders, which we know the Tuscan Raiders are pure gray people that just happen to have slaves sometimes. Everything we've seen the bikers do has been bad. They are evil, so it was justified what Boba did. It was okay. We've never seen Boba do anything, like, in the gray in this show. There's never like, oh, maybe he did something that's not too good. No, he always does what's right. What he did here was, that's what's right, killing those bikers. So, again, that's my problem. Like, I wish there was a bit more of this moral grayness instead of just Boba's got a heart of gold and is a great guy. Another part of the episode I really like is we have Black Chrysanthemum at the the Twi'lek place. I don't know what it's called. He's there and he sees a group of Trandoshans, like, gambling and having fun. And I thought this was really cool because if you're not into Star Wars, you may not know, but the Trandoshans are hunters and they specifically really like to hunt Wookiees. And he is just pissed. He's just sitting there watching these Trandoshans celebrate, and he just goes and takes out all his frustration on them and beats the crap out of these Trandoshans, even rips one of their arms off. It was sick. I loved that scene. I thought it was great. I thought it was great for the character of Black Chrysanthemum to just be pissed about how he failed at killing Boba. And also, obviously, he hates Transoceans because they kill Wookiees. And he just took him out. I thought that was great. Also, the whole time when the Twi'lek's like trying to convince him, don't do this, blah, 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 and he's just listening to her just to rip his arm off. I was like, yes, thank God he didn't actually listen to her. That would have been so dumb. But then right after that, Boba makes a joke. He's like, worth a shot. It's like, oh, that's nice. But anyways, back to talking about Boba making his own crime family. Another problem I have, like, I'm fine with him wanting to not be a bounty hunter anymore, instead be a crime lord and like not be at other people's whims. I think that's good. But why Tatooine? Everyone hates Tatooine. Tatooine sucks. There are so many other planets that have crime families and like overlords and stuff that are way better that he could rule, that are even more important than Tatooine. But instead he chooses Tatooine. I know why they did it. It's because Disney knows that Tatooine's an iconic Star Wars planet, and that's why they're using it. That's why we had Jakku in The Force Awakens, because it looks like Tatooine. It's technically new, but it looks like Tatooine to get the fans back. That's why they're doing it for the show, because, oh, Tatooine's iconic. But in terms of in-universe, it really doesn't make sense. Like, Boba almost died in the Sarlacc. I don't think that gives him a huge connection to Tatooine to want to be there. I think it's stupid. I don't think he has any reason to actually be to Tatooine. And if you're saying, oh, well, it's because he almost died in the Sarlacc, that's stupid. I completely disagree there. Another thing I wanted to address here, I've addressed it in the comments, but anyway, several people in the comments have been like, oh, chill, because the first 3 episodes I've talked about, they are horrible. I do not like the first 3 episodes. And a lot of people in the comments were like, give it time, just wait, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could understand that point of view if this was like a 12, 15 episode show, but it's not. It's 7 episodes. At episode 3, we are basically halfway through. And if halfway through the show sucks, then that's not much time to course correct. And if it does course correct, then guess what? Half the show still sucks. That's not good. If the next 4 episodes are amazing after episode 3, that doesn't change the fact that half the show still sucks. Like, and now we have episode 4, and we know it's not amazing, but it's not as horrible as the other episodes. So still, we have 3 bad episodes, 1 okay episode, and then potentially 3 good episodes. Like, this is a 7-episode season. This isn't like, oh, just wait, you're judging too early. No, half the show still sucks. I just wanted to address that. One thing that I'm happy about also, though, is that we're finally caught up. We don't have to deal with flashbacks anymore. We're caught up, thankfully, and I think that's going to help with the pacing a lot. I also felt like one of the big strengths of this episode was that the pacing was better. To me, the other episodes definitely struggle with pacing a lot. I felt like the pacing was not good, but in this episode, I felt like it was much better. It felt like the episode flowed a lot better, and I'm happy that we're over the flashbacks. The flashbacks had a few good moments, but overall, I'm happy that we're done with those. The big thing was at the end of the episode, Boba's talking about how a war's coming between him and the Pikes, and he talks about how he needs to hire people, and I believe Fennec says money can buy muscle, something like that, because they need muscle, and then the Mandalorian theme plays. So that makes you think, oh, they're going to get Mando to come help them, because he helped Mando, now Mando's going to return the favor. That's what it seems like. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming Mando's going to come, and that would also help get more viewership. You know, if you put a promo out there that Mando's in the episode, Mando has a lot of fans, a lot of people want to watch that. I'm all for Din Djarin showing up in this show. I think him and Boba's interaction, Mandalorian, were pretty good, so I'm happy to see him on the show, assuming that's what's going to happen, and I believe that is. That's why they did that. Why else would they do that music cue? Doesn't make sense. So, of course, he's going to show up. So, overall, this episode had some good moments, but overall, I still don't think it's a good episode. I think at best, it's like a 5 out of 10. If you rate it out of 10, I don't think it's good. I think just, again, it's the shiniest turd. We've been fed so much crap that people are like, finally, an episode that doesn't commit something absolutely egregious against the character of Boba Fett. It's good. No, don't settle for something that's just meh. Like, don't do that. If you genuinely like the episode, good for you. But if you're someone that has not liked the show and then like they finally give you an episode that's not absolutely horrible and you're like, yes, it's good, don't settle for a meh episode. But at least it's progress. Hopefully the next 3 episodes are good. Again, I've been talking about how bad the show is, but I want it to be good. I love Boba Fett. I enjoy The Mandalorian. I want this to be good. I am not someone that's preying on the show's downfall. I want it to be good. It just has not been, and I'm not going to sit here and accept it and be like, oh, sorry, you can't criticize Star Wars because I like Star Wars, so I'm not supposed to criticize something I like. That's not how this works. I'm going to call out stuff that I don't like about properties that I do like. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this episode. I really want to hear what you guys have to say since this is one of the better episodes. And also leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more because I will be reviewing each episode of Book of Boba Fett. So, yeah, see you guys later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.